You're enjoying this special edition of Sportsworld on this Sunday morning, turning our attention now to racing. A big day of racing around Australia yesterday, particularly at Warwick Farm and Moonee Valley, as I welcome Keith Hillier once again to your screens. And Keith, the little horse from the bush, said, I'll show you how to do it yesterday.
Yes, he did, Sandy. His name was Sonic Express, and he won the first Group 1 race of the season in Melbourne. It was a big win, and in his wake were the big names, including Shaftesbury Avenue, who missed the place. And while Bart Cummings was pondering what went wrong for Shaftesbury Avenue, one of the owners of Sonic Express, Doug Blackshaw, had headed home to a little township called Yinnar in Gippsland, and he started about milking 35 cows. That's racing, and here's the big race yesterday at Moonee Valley, the Manikato Stakes, with Shaftesbury Avenue, the favourite, at 5 to 4. It was a big performance by Sonic Express, who had won first up the previous week. Greg Hall turned back that ride. He chose to ride the Western Australian sprinter yesterday, Dark Bow, who coincidentally finished last, but our premier jockey from last season, Damien Oliver, rang during the week, and he got the ride on Sonic Express. Let's have a look now at the Manikato Stakes at Moonee Valley.
Up to the 500-metre mark, and Street Ruffy in the leader by a half length to With Me challenging. On the outside, Sonic Express, and just behind them, Redelva starting to run home very well. They're followed by Noble Dancer Wrap Around, and a long way back of Shaftesbury Avenue as they make the home turn with Dark Bow, Prince Redeemers. Round the turn they come now, and Sonic Express has dashed to the lead. Sonic Express is the leader as they straighten up. Street Ruffy and Wrap Around down the outside into the whip, Redelva, and they're followed by With Me and Shaftesbury Avenue not in the hunt. Halfway down the running, Sonic Express is travelling like a winner. 2 lengths in advance of Wrap Around trying to get to it, but Sonic Express in front. It's too good, Sonic Express. Sonic Express will hang on and score by a length to Wrap Around. Street Ruffy in third, then Redelva.
Yes, interestingly there, the Cornella horses Sonic Express and Wrap Around were both 4-year-olds, early 4-year-olds, of course, and that age group has a big and successful record in that race. Jim Cassidy said after the race that Shaftesbury Avenue was not happy on the ground. I wouldn't sack him. He did make up some ground. He finished only 3.5 lengths from the winner. Well, the big action was in Sydney yesterday. It was the Warwick Stakes, and our Melbourne horse Superimposed, winner of the past 2 Doncaster handicaps, winner of the last Epsom handicap, returned to racing in the Warwick Stakes, a race he won last year. Surprisingly, bookmakers took him on. He opened favourite at 5 to 4. He got out to 15 to 8 before he firmed late in the betting. It was a big run. The pace was dawdling early, but Superimposed, with Darren Beatman in the saddle, made up his ground steadily. And you'll watch Darren Beatman doing nothing on this great horse as he goes to the post. It's a fantastic performance.
Towards the 700 metres mark, and now they're starting to kick up front, and with the inside running, Stylish Sensory is sharing the lead with Friends Venture and Stargazer. A length and a half away, Royal Creation, followed by Livingstone Lane, and then Africana. Superimposed tracks them into the straight, followed by Planet Ruler, and then Solar Circle, and the others are well beaten off as they turn the corner. Into the straight, it's Friends Venture putting the head in front of Stylish Sensory, and then Stargazer, Royal Creation, with Africana running a bit of a race at long odds, and here comes Superimposed. Africana joined Royal Creation. Superimposed getting them on the outside, and the champ Superimposed has hit the lead from Africana and Royal Creation, and Super's going to do it again in the Warwick Stakes. Superimposed coming away, scored brilliantly. Livingstone Lane got second, third Royal Creation, and Africana has run a bottler fourth.
Well, he did a lot to attract an offer from Japan now to be an Australian or Oceania representative at the next Japan Cup. He's a super horse, and Darren Beatman taking him kindly to the line. There was a school of thought that Livingstone Lane was unlucky as runner-up. It's a thought that I don't subscribe to, and the slow-mo replay of that race really did show how easily the win was by Superimposed. There was a lot of action yesterday in Sydney. Mick Dittman was suspended for 5 meetings, Shane Dye for 3. I spoke with Mick Dittman this morning at the Gold Coast. He is going to appeal first thing in the morning. He's quite irate about that suspension. He rode Bold Promise, last year's top filly, in the Silver Shadow Stakes. She had a luckless run. She had a wide barrier. Mick drove her through the centre. She looked the winner. She finally got to second placing, but she was relegated to third on protest. There was a lot of action in this race, and it cost Mick Dittman a suspension. So let's have a look now at Bold Promise, running second before being relegated to third in the Silver Shadow Stakes.
as they race up to approach the 600 metres mark, and Cloudlet got through on the inside to go to the lead over Like Madonna. If I'm Special makes a line of 3, followed by Archery Wood, and then Tyrannic Mercherie. Off the track, Lady Nikolai. A gap to Dawn Rocket as they near the turn. Bold Promise flat to the boards behind a big bunch of horses, and Pippi War goes about 8 deep on the turn into the straight. Cloudlet is in front over Like Madonna, followed by Mercherie, and then Archery Wood and Electric, and further out Lady Nikolai and Pippi War. At the 200 mark, Cloudlet tackled by Mercherie. Pippi War down the extreme outside. Bold Promise is joining in now. She might still beat them. Pippi War's in front. Bold Promise coming at her, but it's Pippi War's Silver Shadow. Made the turn about 8 wide and still won. Pippi War beat Bold Promise. I think Enshrine will get third.
Yes, we couldn't take anything away from Pippi War then. I think she won on her merits, and the Jack Denham team rolls on into the new season. Sandy, that's about it for me in racing. Bruce McAvaney, of course, in Tokyo. It's the last time we let him hold the straws for a trip, isn't it?
Well, of course, he's going to be back there next week with the men's marathon. But we weren't trying to throw you out quickly today. It's just, of course, with the ladies' marathon this morning. You will, I promise you, have more time next week. And I'm not saying anything about yesterday, but I hope you have a good day next Saturday.
Thanks, Sandy. I'll catch you next Saturday.
Thank you, Keith Hillier. Now let's turn our attention to rugby union. Of course, the big news is that New Zealand has retained rugby's Bledisloe Cup, beating the Wallabies in an absolute cliffhanger at Auckland's Eden Park. Australia's dream ended when Michael Lynagh missed a penalty just seconds from full time to finish with just 1 goal from 7 attempts. Neither side managed to try, but it was a classic match.
From Australia, here's Nick Farr-Jones and the Wallabies.
As expected, the reception was hostile. The Wallabies on foreign soil and the All Blacks playing for national pride. Early, though, Grant Fox was again off target, missing with his first 2 attempts. It was desperation stuff from Australia, the All Blacks driving home a huge possession advantage in the first half, but the courage of the Wallabies held firm.
Inside McCarhill.
Fox finally put the home side ahead 3-0.
1 penalty goal to Grant Fox.
While Michael Lynagh was also having trouble with the heavy ground.
Just wide.
Right on half-time, the Australian defence was again tested. They survived.
It's a try, is it? Innes held back.
Fox found the mark shortly after the break to take the margin to 6. The excitement was all too much for some Kiwi fans. The distraction, though, helped Lynagh's concentration to finally draw some blood.
Going to be close. 3 points in it.
It seemed to be the turning point for Australia. Despite being frustrated by the refereeing, Campese sparked a great drive.
Here they go, Australia. Roebuck. Edgerton's there.
It came down to the boot of Lynagh, though. Just 1 from 6, and this for the Bledisloe Cup.
But it's out to the right, and the match is all over. New Zealand holds on.
Well, the Aussies tried, but it just wasn't quite good enough. On the subject of football, we'll be back with all the action right after this break.
Before Fast Forward, there was the D Generation, where Australia's #1 comedy was born. The D Generation, right after Fast Forward, Thursday on 7.
Australia, don't miss this. Hot rice, chicken and chips, quarter chicken, Red Rooster, crispy chips, just $2 at Red Rooster. Hot rice, Monday, Tuesday, chicken and chips. Never ever seen better value than this.
Half rice, Monday, Tuesday, chicken and chips.
Hot rice, chicken and chips.
Australia, don't miss Red Rooster's half price Monday, Tuesday, chicken and chips.
$2 chicken and chips.
Just $2.
Friday the 30th of August is Red Nose Day. Buy your Red Nose at any participating BP service station and help the National Sudden Infant Death Syndrome Council fight cot death.
Monday only, all stock 15% off at Spotlight. 15% off Manchester curtain fabrics, dress fabrics, haberdashery, craft and wool. Personal shopping only, Monday only. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m, 15% off all stock at Spotlight.
I'm at your disposal. We can fix that straight away. No worries, mate.
Telecom Mobile Net is Australia's mobile communications network.
Hello, Daddy.
Hello, Princess. I'm sorry. I can't finish that story tonight. But I promise you, I'll finish it first thing in the morning.
There's all sorts of benefits for all sorts of business.
Daddy loves you.
I love you too.
Even family business. Telecom Mobile Net, Australia's own.
Off interstate this week? All over Australia, thrifty businessmen know the smart way to save money. Feel the power of the big V6 motor. Experience the luxurious interior of the fantastic new Mitsubishi Verada. And everyone in the thrifty fleet has been fitted with a state-of-the-art hands-free car phone. And as a special introductory offer, you can drive the new Mitsubishi V6 Verada from as little as $90. Yes, $90 a day. So, don't pay more. Be smart. Be thrifty. See you at the airport.
If you'd like the perfect Father's Day present, whistle up the new Black & Decker Workhorse. With its quality solid steel construction and unique fast clamping device, the Black & Decker Workhorse is like having an extra pair of hands anytime you need them. And it's covered by the Black & Decker Marathon 2-year warranty. The new Black & Decker Workhorse. Give Dad an extra pair of hands this Father's Day.
He's back.
Ole!
And we know where he's been. Oh, there he is, freeing the Russian people.
Oh, my God.
And fixing the economy, fighting fires and floating whales. What a guy. But he's back and raring to go with guests like Burt Reynolds, Priscilla Presley and Martin Sheen, just to name a few. Steve's back on Tonight Live.
Welcome back. Time now to talk Aussie rules. We're in the middle of round 23, just one to go, and the finals race still well and truly on as we check the winners so far in this round. Sydney, big winners at the SCG under lights on Friday night. Geelong too good at VFL Park for North Melbourne. Collingwood home by 33 points. Hawthorn gave the Blues an absolute hiding. St Kilda did likewise. The margin there was 120 points.
Now it's time to check the CUB AFL ladder.
And there's certainly plenty of interest in the ladder, not only with second and third spot, the double chance still up for grabs between Hawthorn and Geelong, but Collingwood have snuck into the 5 last night. Melbourne will be hoping desperately to rectify the situation at the Western Oval this afternoon. But that is the interest, and it could all come down to the clash between Collingwood and Geelong at Cardinia Park next week. But there were some great highlights of round 23 so far. We'll take a look at them now. The action got underway on Friday night in front of a very disappointing crowd at the SCG, but Sydney did a marvellous job. A couple of early reports, umpire Murray Bird, and included in those reports was Diesel Williams. Here's Mosquito Lawson, he's very quick.
Chip pass into the open goal, McKenzie for a goal.
Here's the throw in. Dale Lewis was deadly in front of goal, particularly early on in the match. And there are a couple of heavy collisions. Mackesy coming off second best here.
Awkward one. The wind playing.
Now at the VFL Park, speaking of collisions, down went Ken Hinckley. Left the ground with suspected concussion, but then came back on and still performed admirably. But that passage resulted in a goal to Peter German. His very good play by Buse and Ablett showing his talents.
Simpson came. Ablett off the ground, goals.
Paul Couch's skills were also on display on the outer boundary.
Finds Couch. Oh, he's a clever player. Look at this. Arthur Street. Geelong peppering the goals. Brownless sets himself. No mark. Advantage. Ablett again. Yes! And tumbles
Now McRae cops a heavy one here from Ablett. It opened a path for Neil, however, and from 50 metres, he made no mistake.
And he's kicked it. That will be the sealer.
It was the sealer, but here it is again in slow motion. Hawthorn and Carlton, well, this was an absolute whitewash, sadly, for the Blues. The Hawks building towards September action, a very cold day. They warmed up early, but then the Hawthorn machine got into business. Firstly, Ben Allen with a long goal. And at the back you can see Jarman collecting it from just outside 50, having no problems bouncing it through. St Kilda were the biggest winners of the day. They really eclipsed the Brisbane Bears. Frankie Coughlin had a field day in front of goal. There's one of his. The other big winner up forward, you just saw in picture there, was Stuart Lowe. Sweeping a long hand past Dwyer, taps it on to Frankie Coughlin, and he goals. But they did catch up with him in the end. In fact, it was Mark Zanotti. Laid him to rest, but it wasn't for too long. Stuart Lowe, as I mentioned, had a wonderful day. Kicked 7 for the Saints. Tony Lockett being a late withdrawal out of that lineup. But Lowe was an ample replacement. His kicking and his marking was extremely good. Speaking of things that are extremely good, here is number 35 for the Pies. Once.
His first kick into the breeze. Dacos stays down at
Twice.
the back. Knocked away by Keys. Here's the magician near the boundary line. 30 metres out, Peter Dacos. 3 kicks, 3 goals!
Russell goes wide, intended for Dacos.
And 3 times.
Dacos, what can he fashion this time? This should be
An
easy.
extraordinary performance.
Outside of the boot. Another one.
And the Maggies keeping their finals hopes alive. Now, reports, and I can tell you that Greg Williams is due at the tribunal at any minute. He is on a striking charge arising out of the clash against Fitzroy on Friday night in Sydney. So too is Jason Love and Brendan Claby of Fitzroy, all to face the AFL tribunal. Now, time to have a look at the interstate headlines, what was making news around the country. Well, in Sydney it was good because on Saturday morning the papers paid respect to Cole Kinnear. Admittedly, he's got one more game to go, but that was his last in Sydney, and the opening 3 quarters was sensational by Sydney. They'd opened up a lead of almost 80 points. Fitzroy came back late in the game, but it was all over. Full steam ahead. Guess which state that comes from? WA. And it is full steam ahead. Of course, they've got a big game this afternoon against Essendon, but the West Coast Eagles at the moment saying, catch us if you can. And one side who may, from the Sunday Herald Sun, is Collingwood. Back in the 6 at the moment. Melbourne may have something to say about that this afternoon. But they are the headlines making news around Australia. And, of course, the other man who finds all the news is Scott Palmer. And, Scotty, I was just looking at those, the West Coast Eagles, full steam ahead. You've come out with this extraordinary statement.
They're Eagle City now. They're not
that's
Perth anymore.
They haven't won the
called
flag
themselves
yet.
Eagle City. And they're going to wrap a big scarf around the town hall. And
It will be big, won't it?
It's going to be a big one, Sandy, right round the town hall.
Well, to more immediate news of them, are they playing a little bit of ducks and drakes with this afternoon's game? What's
They are. Essendon are over there. They've been ensconced in their hotel overnight, and they're worrying whether Main Waring's going to play. Now, Pios was dragged out of the East Perth side yesterday, and it was suggested that he would replace Main Waring in the side because he's got a bit of a shoulder. But Essendon now believe that Main Waring will play. So Mickey Malthouse is doing a Kevin Sheedy because Chris Danner, of course, as we all know, wasn't on the plane. He's up playing and watching football in Hungary. But Kevin Egan, the team manager, said today that they believe that Main Waring will turn up and Pios will miss out altogether. So it's ducks and drakes over there in Perth.
Can we talk about injuries for a moment, Scotty? Tony Hall, who's made such a wonderful comeback, what's his problem now?
Well, he went off yesterday and Hawthorn will have a look at hm tomorrow, but it's only a cork thigh. He also took a knock in the head, and there was another one that came up late in the day. Paul Deer's got a shoulder, but Hawthorn expect them both to be right, but they're just going to keep them sort of under the doubtful list for the next week or two.
There has been a huge amount of speculation about one of our panellists. Will he play again? Will he coach? Or will he be involved in television?
Well, he did make a trip to Sydney earlier than expected the other day, and he did go and see the surgeon to find out whether his wrist could stand up to the pressures of league football. Now, if he was doing this, one suggests that at the back of his mind, Sandy, deep down there in the recesses of the mind, he's got a thought that he may want to play again.
Do you know something?
No, I don't know anything.
I don't think it's all that deep down. But thank you, Scotland, for that report. Unfortunately, our time is up.
Well, I'm going out to have some venison, hot dogs and dim sims out at Footscray today, Sandy.
You've been spoiled for years. We'll take a break. Back with more shortly.
Will Betty score a day off?
Right, everybody out.
And Simon scores a date.
Yes.
Hey Dad plus Perfect Strangers wouldn't stay on 7.
Play Trivial Pursuit at McDonald's and win.
And the winners are...
It's just like the Oscars.
And the prizes keep going off. Michelle Cummins from Cromer in New South Wales won a Holden Apollo. The McGrees from East Melbourne take off with Continental Airlines for a continental holiday to Disneyland, while Darren Broadbent from the ACT and Bob Bennett from Victoria both won sensational Samsung prizes. So what are you waiting for? Get in and play.
There are thousands
thousands of winners at McDonald's.
So play now and be one of them.